This episode of Sean and John was recorded on December 2nd, 2015.
Recomendita la sepeldectentistoi anstata vol mangi vitron, estas Sean and John kun Sean kai Sean.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sean and John. I'm John.
I'm Sean.
And this is totally my real voice.
I'm Ranjit.
All right. So,
We're doing something a little unconventional today.
yeah, well, this is going to be a commentary track for a show that Ranjit worked on, conveniently that you can find on Netflix. It's called The Mr. Peabody and Sherman Show.
Just to be clear, I only worked on this show for 2 weeks as like a replacement. And
Liar!
You bastard. But it was either this.
To help out on the show. That's it. Like
It was either this or we watch an episode
Now,
of
are
My
you
Little Ponies.
saying this because are you just setting us up because you think this is a shitty show, or
no, this is actually
like all of a sudden
great
you're defending? He's like, by the way, I only did this for 2 weeks.
No,
It is a good show.
yeah, no, it is actually.
May
a
you,
good show.
you want to give
One
me a
of the
crack?
Oh,
Best shows.
we're cracking beers.
Oops. Hold on.
We'll crack another beer.
Beauty.
Do you
And I
want
must
to
crack mine.
So as they crack beers, I'll explain to you how this is going to work,
Oh,
kids.
that was a good one.
We're going to get you to go and load the show, and the very first thing that'll pop up is this red Netflix logo on white. As soon as that,
Well, let's hope they have Netflix.
well, I think this show is. Is this show on TV? Do you know, or is it only Netflix?
I think it's only
It's
Netflix.
Netflix original.
But it does have commercial breaks in it.
Oh, that's just. I don't know.
Is that just a play on the?
Yeah,
Because
it's
it's
just
an
a-
interesting show. They play it up like it's an old, almost like variety show from the 50s.
Yeah, that's the whole. That's their whole gimmick.
Yeah.
There's this zany show from what like.
Well, it was Mr.
50.
Peabody and the Sherman Show from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah,
back in the
yeah,
day, right?
Yeah. It's like really back
have
in the day, and this is just a play on it, which is pretty good. I think they did a fantastic job because it's just puns and puns on different levels.
Puns on puns.
Yeah, but it's. I think people will take some getting used to it, but it's. I find it pretty funny. The more you watch it, the more you understand it's comedy. But yeah, again, either you like it or you don't.
Fair enough.
Okay.
It is got a style its own. If
Yeah,
I can give
it
a
is a
little
kid
bit
show.
of history here. So this is from the very always reliable, 100% true Wikipedia. So if you don't know Peabody, Mr. Peabody, it was a segment on the old Rocky and Bullwinkle show from 1960 something, and I love Rocky and Bullwinkle. I have to
Oh,
say that.
me too.
I have Series 1 here. It's just great
I remember when I was a kid, and it used to come on YTV.
Yes.
Late
Like
at
at 1
night.
in the morning.
And
Yeah.
I used to set my alarm to
Nice.
wake up
Nice.
and watch it. Half of the time, I just fell asleep again and slept through it, but I still managed
Yeah.
to always set my alarm to try, at least try to watch it.
So for some reason, somebody decided to make a film last year, 2014. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's not a great movie. The animation is
movie.
pretty solid.
Yeah, animation is good.
The
but,
story's
like,
dumb. But the crux of Peabody and Sherman has always been Sherman's a kid that Mr. Peabody, the world's most intelligent dog, adopted, raised him, and then they use a machine called the Wayback Machine to go and visit famous figures and fuck around with time, basically.
And he kind of talks down to Sherman, doesn't he?
He's kind of a pompous twat. So at the end of the movie, and I don't know this because I did not make it through the movie, their time machine deal is exposed, and they decide to start a TV show, and this is kind of the continuation of it. So a little bit of credits here. Mr. Peabody is voiced by Chris Parnell from SNL, who did It's the Chronic What Calls of Narnia. Do you remember that bit? Where they got... Anyway, so that's Chris Parnell. I guess we're not going to hear him. Because here's a little bit of information for you kids. We're going to watch this on mute with subtitles so you don't hear it. And what you're going to have to do is play this on your iPads, iPods, Samsungs, whatever's.
That's right. So if you do that,
With this
and
in
hopefully
the
you have Netflix, it is
Yeah.
the Mr. Peabody and Sherman Show, episode 7 of season 1.
7 called Big Boy / Blackbeard.
And here we go.
So just what's going to happen is you start it up, and the Netflix logo will come up, and then as soon as it stops, you hit pause, and ideally you've already paused that, and we're going to do a little countdown here, 3, 2, 1, and then I'll hit play, and we're going to watch the damn thing. Make sure it's muted. So by now, you have set it up and you're ready to hit play. So we go 3, 2, 1, go. If you've done it right, you're looking at a cool title that says Netflix Original Series, and it has the two of them in their pod and
record spinning. Playing. So, Ranji, what are you responsible for on this?
I was responsible for doing layout, so making sure all the poses and key animation works fine. But again, 2 weeks was just like half of the time limit to make do the duties that I had to do. So it was just a really brief window into the show that I had. That's it.
DreamWorks. So Steven Spielberg has his stink all over this, doesn't he?
This one?
Didn't Steven Spielberg run DreamWorks?
Oh, really?
Or he owns it?
I have no idea.
I think he does own it.
Oh, really?
So do they always introduce themselves like this in front of a crowd every show?
Yeah,
I think we know who they are now.
Yeah, but that's what they do. They come and tell them, "Oh, this is our show. This is our house. Welcome to our house."
Our fans are probably saying, "Yeah, I fucking know you're John, and I know he's Sean." Just
yeah, that's true then, right?
So so this show is kind of broken in. Right now, we're watching this ongoing storyline of in the studio, and then Peabody is going to tell the story of their time travel. Do the same people work on both? Because it almost looks like the art styles are a little different, which we'll see when we get up to Blackbeard.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same people who work on it, but this show has two parts, as you said. One is story part, and one is the studio part. Where
Come up on the mic.
Show.
Oh, and there's a baby.
Yeah.
I hate it when there's a baby on my nose.
Yeah, I got to admit, it's a silly kid show, but there was a couple really parts that legitimately made me laugh, and this whole rocket launch lunch thing
to get the envelope
is legit. He's like, "You can't launch a rocket. What, lunch? No." And
so I'm guessing getting a ladder to retrieve the envelope was out of the question.
I think they're going a little extreme here because he's also making $10 for all of this shit
that he's doing. Yeah, and that's the part that we love as animators on this show is you can
exploit child labor.
You can just push the show. Like the style is just so crazy that you can do whatever you want and it still works. It's the style of the show.
One thing I've noticed, and as more characters come in, you'll see it if you haven't watched the show yet. So here's this lady who's
I love this lady because she was modeled after your ex, wasn't she?
So she was the crap lady.
Yeah, she's kind of like she runs the show. She has to give them the.
She has a great smile.
But the style of her, Jesus Christ, the style of her look is distinctly different than the art style of Peabody. And that baby's parents, when they come in later in the episode, like they've got their whole own thing. So, like, do different
I love how
artists...
she shakes the baby there. Where it's just shaking baby syndrome is okay.
Are you supposed to shake babies? I don't know. All the people that never call me back for babysitting gigs, they don't say anything. But so do different artists. So you guys don't see this, but there was just a subtitle that said farts.
And we're mature. So
we're very mature, so we laugh at that. Yeah. So do other artists come in, like does one artist decide what Peabody looks like, one artist is going to do that, and here we are in the web.
I love this time travel thing. Reminds me when I did LSD.
I think everybody works on it, and we have like this one character designer from DreamWorks who designs everything and designs all the really wacky poses or mouths or shapes, and you're like, okay, there needs to be this crazy thing going on here.
So now on an art level, the backgrounds here, like it's like they're trying to pay homage to the original cartoon, where the artwork, and I found out they actually shipped the artwork in the original 60s cartoon to Mexico, not to Korea.
Oh no, we do all the backgrounds in-house here. So
come up in the mic.
So we have, what do you say? We get like the key backgrounds from DreamWorks, and then all the rest of the ones that we need to make for the episode, we do it in-house, so that we are not sending any work anywhere else. Yeah, there's so many. There's like constant daggers flying around if you see.
So stuff like
that happens in a local bar.
Yeah,
Pink Beard made me laugh too.
Yeah.
So is there, like the gags with the daggers, how much freedom do you guys have on that? Or is it like 2 daggers and 1 hatchet? Or do you, even at points, you're like, I'm just going to throw daggers in here for the fun of it?
Yeah, I think we, with directors, they're so cool that you can actually just give them ideas and they'll be like, oh yeah, let's just do this. And pretty much you all sit down and discuss what would be more funnier. And last save that you have is director say.
Okay.
See, now, who has the responsibility of this character right here, Blackbeard, with his big red nose? Because Usually when someone has a nose like that, that means they're an alcoholic.
No, this is just, again, it's character. We get character designed by the character designer. So you have already character designed, and you come, and all the characters are previously designed. There's storyboard which explains what is going to happen in the show already. Everything is pretty set. All the writing is done. As animators, you come in, you're like, okay, all these storyboards which are like these pictures, now we need to make it look like an actual thing that moves and works. And we already have like a comic book strips which runs with the voices and music and everything. So everything is timed out. So you have to just make them move. So you can just focus on your animation, how to move things and how to make it look funny. And here, when you can see like everything is like very snappy.
Choreographed, yeah.
Yeah.
So is it, because it's all just based on movement, is it easier to animate for like walking around talking versus a whole choreographed dance number, or is it all just the same? You're just following beats?
When you're actually doing choreographed dance, it's you just follow the beats. But usually you're following you're pretty much making them act. So if you don't know acting, it's fine. But all you're doing is making them act. You actually act out your scenes. You're like, where would the main accent be? You listen to the line that is already.
If you don't put that microphone by your face, I'm going to make you watch My Little Pony.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not used to this.
Oh, fair enough.
Terrible. So, yeah, all the voice actors have already done their voices. So all we are doing is taking their voice and taking liberty to it and actually pushing it as much as we can.
And I like these stink lines. Are you responsible for this?
Stink lines.
No.
When you drew these stink lines, did you realize you've made it as an animator? I've broken through.
No, actually, these might be like Photoshop.
Is there a director who's like, we need more stink lines?
Like that's got to be a note at some point.
Yeah.
More stink lines.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. It's not smelly enough.
Yeah, we actually have those notes, like we need more stink lines.
That's great.
Lose butt on that character or add more crap there.
I love how people get paid for that.
Yeah, dude, like we have like a whole section that we usually...
Stink lines.
Not
Stink
stink
library.
Not stink library, but like things gone wrong library sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I love that face.
I like that her tits literally like deflated.
Yeah, you did, actually. See, those are the things that they get away with.
How did you catch that?
And
so here's these commercial breaks. But so now, would they do commercial breaks like that just for the scheme of the show, or in the hope that, hey, this might end up on CBS someday?
No, I think it's just the scheme of the show because they are in this bad situation and they need to get out of it. It's like, we'll be right back.
So now on like shows like Star Trek would be a good example.
Yeah.
They build the set of the Enterprise bridge. So there's they're like, okay, 40% of every episode has to happen on the bridge because we spent the money for it.
Yeah.
Now this is a very complex background. We'll talk about that in a bit. This is a great character.
I love her.
She made me laugh so hard. She has the arm. She's an idiot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, you know what? We're just going to make fun of a fat idiot. There's no, even if somebody's like, that's fat shaming, you shouldn't do that. It seems that you guys did not care and you just went for a fat idiot.
All we were thinking is what will be funny, you know, and I know who did the first, I know the guy who did the first test for it, and his name is Richard, and he's like a great guy. And when he made the first time, like all this just flapping away, we just all laughed and we were like, yep, let's do this.
Okay.
You know? And that's all we are thinking. We are always just thinking about what will be funny.
Why do I feel like when Mr. Peabody is going on a time travel trip with her, he's going to be involved in like a sexual harassment scandal later?
You know what? I would actually see her being involved, making the move on him.
What I want to see is them travel back in time, and the first time she picked up a donut, Mr. Peabody's like, this is where it all went wrong.
This is why you die of diabetes. So, okay, going back, and we'll see the Peabody set. But even here in the way back, it's a fairly complex thing. There's a lot of lines. It would take a while to draw.
Yeah.
So when you guys draw a background or a layout, especially something as complex as the Peabody set, where there's a moving robot, there's tons of things, versus this with the dinosaurs. I mean, I'm sure somebody could have drawn that backdrop in an hour.
You'd think so. It's actually quite complicated.
Really, to get that roughly drawn look?
That roughly drawn look is the to make something look simple is really hard, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because you have to, if you look at, for example, way back right now, inside of it, there's so many lines, you're like, holy shit, it'll take a while to draw.
Yeah.
There's so many things. Whereas you look at the dinosaur background, or for example, New York City background, you think, oh yeah, it's just so easy, somebody just put brushes. But you have to keep that look consistent. That's the hard part. So once somebody draws it, you have to now reproduce the same shit over and over and over again. And it needs to match every single time.
So now those three, for lack of a better term, or layout sets, whatever, what would be the proper term? All right, so, okay, so they just got back from New York.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that because if you're hearing this now, I fucked up, and we're going to edit that stuff that I fucked up out. So, but there was that New York shot, there was the dinosaurs one, there was the Renaissance one, and those are, I mean, even though you said they take time to draw, they're kind of throwaways. Now you have this background here of the set, which just has a ton of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Is there a certain amount of the show where they're like, we need, 80% of the show to be here because holy fuck, we paid a lot for this drawing?
No, it's just the way the director wants it. I think it's his call, like where do they want most of the show. And the way this show progresses is like half of the show is story, where they tell a story about what happened or their way back adventures, and half the show is actually in the studio. So that's how the story progresses. That's why they have this set. So that's how it works. So in the story parts, every single episode you have a completely different story.
Yeah.
And there's just a number of sets.
Sorry, I love his butt right now.
Yeah.
Like, would that be in the script, or would that just be a director's?
No,
Which cheek did you have to draw?
I think it's just
Ranjit Gill, left cheek. That's all it says in the credits.
Yeah. Irresponsible for all the butt.
That was me.
All the butt. Yeah, Jesus. So now with these two different bits, would you have like one assistant director or layout supervisor who would take care of the Blackbeard story and one who would take care of the studio, or does one director do the whole episode?
The whole episode.
Okay.
So you are pretty much responsible as a layout supervisor for the whole episode, including the story bit and the studio bit.
Okay.
So you're working on both the things, and they are both separated. When you're working on it, it's separated differently, so you get organized.
See, now
better.
here, this balloon, this looks like a penis. This
the design got
really
changed.
disturbed me because now he's rubbing it on Sherman's head.
Did it look like more of a dick beforehand?
Yeah, it looked way more like a dick beforehand, so they changed
Sherman's
the
going to
design.
wonder why he wakes up with crabs in his hair.
This is like way more kids friendly right now. Earlier it was.
That is 2 balls and a penis.
Earlier it looked just like a dick.
And that's classic Peabody and Sherman there. Stupid idea that he thinks will work, and it works.
It works, yeah.
And this, I gotta say, coming up is a brilliant story writer's move where they're like, he actually says, because of the time limits of our show, I decided we'd go around.
Yeah. And that's what they break the fourth wall all the time.
Yeah. I quite like that.
Yeah.
What I love too is they have this story of Blackbeard, but half of it is not even the story about Blackbeard.
Really, no.
They go back to their kind of stage show or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like, either the writers just really don't know how to fill in time, or
they figured out a gimmick
ADD.
where they're like, we only have to write half a fucking story now.
No, it's just basically half of a. It's just, I think, more of they're just trying to recreate a TV show, and every TV show has this different segments. So this is the TV segment. That just,
I like this with the pictures.
Yeah. So they just have this segment where they're like, okay, this is just a story time. And then they have their whole TV segment where they're just doing shit in the studio. I think all the older TV shows had that. Or most of them.
Yeah, and it's...
I love this. Because
the musical number.
Where they show like how he was so attached with his beard.
Even as a baby.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of shows we watched as kids, they would just actually be 2 15-minute episodes.
Yeah, true.
So I guess this is kind of, they're doing the same thing here. They just intercut them together with each other. Yeah.
I think it's more, again, on who created the show and its creators, how he wanted the show to be. again, we get hired as a studio to just do the animation and make the show. Like, we get hired by the
Oh,
main.
this is great. The man baby.
Okay,
Man
I have a
baby.
question about
There's
this.
nothing that I hate more than a man baby.
But is it just me, or did the man baby become like a sumo wrestler? Because suddenly his eyes.
Aren't those man babies?
Isn't that a man?
No, I thought those were
I
man
think
babies
they
fighting
actually
each
are.
other.
Yeah. But it's. Oh, also, that is not baby goo because it was yellow. That is urine. But he. I said baby goo. That sounds like a euphemism for semen. Baby drool. But yeah, he distinctly has an Asian look now.
Yeah, because he's son of Yakamura.
Okay, but so that was going to be the other thing I was going to ask. 1 second here. So his parents are, at least one of them, are East Asian.
Yeah.
But they don't look it.
And they don't
Like the
sound like
mom
it.
has blonde hair, and the dad talks like this. So I don't get
Very
where he's-
pretentious.
Unless like one of them had
Kind
like a
of.
great great grandfather who was Japanese, and they kept the name,
Yeah.
and some or Mrs. Yakamura's fucking around.
Boy.
Just saying.
I don't know. This baby's
Maybe.
huge. So
Okay, I
would
also
say
love
yes,
this
she
dude.
is
The
fucking
whole
around.
like the guy who saves. Oh, so here they are.
Yeah.
So she is not
The
Asian,
Joneses.
and he's definitely not East Asian.
No, he's more of a Japanese.
Really, I would say he's like he's.
I
Like
would say they're
European
cokeheads.
with a bit of.
They look like they're on
like-
something.
Yeah.
No, I think he looks Japanese, man. Like, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
I do not see Japanese.
I
I
don't
see
see
like
Japanese at
European dude with a little bit.
Again, with the red
Latino.
nose, like he has a bad alcohol problem.
oh, yeah, well, Japanese do drink a lot. That's me being racist.
Well done, sir.
Thank you, thank you. I think I'm
Welcome to
allowed.
Sean and John.
yeah.
You finally made it. So I have watched the first episode, and I the kind of gag is that they don't really care about their kid.
No, they're just like this bad parents.
That's the
who are
moral of the
rich
story,
bad-
by the way.
Yeah, don't care about your baby, especially if he's a big fat baby.
They're just like this rich.
This is why I love too, because the show is about Blackbeard, and then they cut and do a runway show.
Of,
It's
like,
where it's like,
historical American
kids
fashion.
don't know what we're doing anyways, so
Yeah.
let's just fill it with whatever.
Yeah, but they're telling the story of how Sherman is trying to save the baby. What?
Exactly, and it turns into George
You know what's funny?
Washington.
That's how Ranjit walked out of his room when we first went to his house.
Just like
on the butt.
Looked like
Yeah.
George Washington.
Betsy Ross in her giant dress. Yeah, I almost don't know what to say at this point. It's kind of like this episode. It feels like it went totally off the rails at this point,
Yeah.
and they were.
But isn't that every
Episode.
kids show now?
it seems to be
Like the goal is to go off the rails?
You think the story is going one way and it just
I think
goes
kids just want to be
completely-
visually stimulated now. It's not so much the story; it's just being stimulated.
I think they're also trying to push the limits of what can be done in
They
a
want
show.
kids to have seizures when they're watching the shows. All
I
right.
could totally go for a Caesar right now.
Yeah. I think they're not even. I don't know, man. Like, I think they're just pushing the boundaries right now. This will be
Yeah.
counted as an age of like storytelling where they were like, we just pushed it as much as we can, and then
Yeah.
they'll dial back. You know how in '90s music videos they found editing.
Yeah.
Special effects, they were just going nuts with it, just like. And then you watch like today's video, they're like, okay, they dialed back. You have to push the limits to actually understand. Oh, we did too much, and then they dial back.
Okay, so now we're back to the actual story here.
Storytelling, yeah.
So
Bumblebee.
at this point, Blackbeard is still trying to find his beard. Or
I like the shark with
the switchblade.
switchblade.
is that how it is though? Blackbeard still is trying to find his beard.
Yeah,
No, Bumblebeard does it
Bumblebee had found his beard, and
There's
now
the-
he's doing.
Now all of a sudden, Mr. Peabody has crabs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He's using
He
static
rose- he
electricity.
Now they
Big
didn't.
Oh,
So
now the beard.
Now
comes
this
out.
is
It's
the transformation
Semen.
scene is brilliant.
brilliant. I love
It
it.
feels like you guys pulled every anime movie you could,
Yeah,
because like there's the lines of light shining out
What
of his
this is
eyes.
great too is this message is showing
Like this
kids
stuff.
where you can be with yellow teeth, broken teeth, bald, and cool at the same time.
So basically, if you're from Alberta,
yeah. Basically, they're telling a pirate what does a pirate have? You know, all these qualities of pirate in one
makes
go.
the pirate, yeah.
And now they're
Bad
trying to clean the pirate, which is literally...
This is actually how John takes a bath, so watch
like-
carefully.
Except without the
You're
soap.
dead meat. I was like, oh, I thought your scar
It
was
was real. That was
It was. And
A mop and stick.
yeah, if you
with
have,
soap.
oh, side part, oh, dead. Like things like that.
See, now, the nose, you were saying, Sean, earlier, the nose fits now.
Yeah.
Yes, now I understand.
Guns. Oh, yeah, they have a battle with their beards, don't they?
Yeah. And they're just trying to clean them,
Have you ever had that, Ranjit?
What's
A
somebody...
beard battle?
Oh,
Because you have a beard.
Have
Have you ever battled the beard?
If I have like a
With your
massive beard,
beard?
I totally have a battle beard. I don't know how though.
This.
Like this. I'll totally have it.
This is brilliant.
I'll
actually.
stand on my beard.
This
and-
is very...
I believe in your beard. I think you'd win.
That
Thank you, man.
one bit, actually, a lot of
No
this
problem.
shows reminds me of, I guess, like second or third generation Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
Into that SpongeBob kind of thing where our beards will stand and...
Yeah. I think it's mostly it was inspired by Jay Ward. Like there's this
So
guy.
who's Jay Ward?
Jay Ward is. I don't know. It's hard to explain. He was.
What did he do?
a magic
He was responsible for making UPA style cartoons or
Sorry, what style?
UPA style cartoons or I shouldn't be talking about it because I should actually know more about it, but I don't.
And you don't.
But I don't. So I think what we have is a saying like, what would Jay Ward do? And all his cartoons were pretty wacky.
Okay.
In a way. So
Oh, did
literally,
he do like Tex Avery and stuff?
Maybe.
Like years and years and years ago?
maybe.
Okay.
So I don't have I cannot say everything like super clearly. But
Yeah.
I think, but whenever we are doing something, everybody we had this huge poster there. What would Jay Ward do?
Yep.
So that's what they do.
Oh,
So it's like, okay, is this funny?
It's not a man baby anymore.
No, he fixed it.
He fixed it.
Which they never get into. Somehow they just stick him in the Wayback Machine, set a chord, and boop, it
Yeah.
worked. And he makes $10. Totally not worth way more than $10. Even if
I was just going to
the
say,
whole
that was hard
time
$10
travel.
to make.
Yeah, easiest $10 I
ever made. Yeah.
Easiest.
Oh, well, there's George
Oh,
Washington.
and there's some nudity for the kids.
Yeah.
That's great.
I like that she got called back a couple times.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
I
I
like how
do-
he has abs too.
Yeah. I didn't notice that.
With his sagging
Yeah,
tits.
sagging man tits and abs.
That's all he works out. Just abs.
Just core.
He's got an ab roller. That's about it.
And then the old, I don't know what.
Indian dude in
Turns-
carpet turns into a kid.
Now, this is actually really clever. I like this. That there's, do you remember Frasier at the end? They would always have some visual
Going on.
Some cracked salad and scrambled eggs or whatever.
Yeah.
I like that they do this here. So is this in the script as well, or do you guys, does the director just kind of go, there's no dialogue, here's my idea?
No, this is not in the script, but in the storyboards that we get.
Okay.
So yes, he.
Oh,
produced-
Jay Ward, the
Ward
Jay Ward Productions.
Yeah.
So he would have done the old Bullwinkle.
Yeah, most probably.
yeah,
Actually,
okay.
we should Google it and know more about it.
Fuck that. Hey, if you're a fan of the show, you'll Google it yourself.
Yeah,
'cause
Google it yourself.
We
and
just
find
gave you a
out who Jay Ward
commentary.
is.
You bastards.
I
Our
gave
first
you enough.
commentary.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we should do more of these. That was
We
kind of
should.
fun. So yeah, that was. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you don't have Netflix and haven't watched the Mr. Peabody and Sherman Show, I'm sorry that this week was an entire waste of your time.
Very confusing
Yeah,
for you. Very confusing.
I wonder if anybody actually sat through this going, "I'll visualize the show now. I see what they're doing."
No, they won't
No,
get
they didn't.
anything.
They were just like,
they won't
"Fuck
get anything.
this
I don't
show."
get it. I'm
Yeah.
not listening anymore.
Anyway, well, that was that was fun. So that was another episode of Sean and John, and that was our fourth. You're going to have to come back and do another. At this point, so after this episode airs, you will have been the longest running guest in that you will have been on 6 episodes of Sean and John.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I know.
never thought I would be on a podcast ever.
And nothing has come of it. And nothing
True,
will.
actually,
Nothing will.
Nothing will ever come up.
Ever.
Ever. In fact,
I can't
this
even
will,
hold my mic
believe
right.
that.
this will
Please.
only hurt your career. So we'll.
I
we'll
think so.
yeah, really.
Most probably
You'll
somebody
be
will
lucky
come
if
up
you
and
have a career after this.
they will be like, oh, you shouldn't have said that. This is like, sorry, we have to fire you now.
Yeah.
We are too.
You're on Sean John. Yeah, you're fired.
You're fired.
You listen.
Yeah, I listened to the Mr. Peabody
How dare you
show.
say
We
something
didn't
about
even
our
listen to the
clients.
show. We haven't seen the show. I haven't listened to it. We just know you were on it, and you're fired.
Yeah.
So we will see you guys next week, and we don't have a guest lined up yet, so we'll figure that out eventually. Go to SeanandJohn.com, and you can find links to our social media and see how cool we are online, which isn't very.
We got cool photos and stuff.
We do,
Looking
actually.
all sexy
Go
and
to
shit.
YouTube and Facebook. It's a lot of fun.
You're super sexy.
If you want to see Ranjit's
Thank you,
art
Ranjit.
online, you can go to...
You guys are super sexy.
Super sexy.
That's why you agreed to be on the show.
Really? Yeah.
I was just wanting to be around sexy people.
Really?
Don't
That
we
is
all?
super creepy.
Yeah, really. I
Don't
guess
we all?
You can find Ranjit online at ranjitgillart.com.
Yeah.
RANJITGILLART.com. I think I said SeanandJohn.com. We've had a few beer. You can find me on Twitter at John Sobey. You can find Ranjit on Instagram at Rana_Gill. And you can find Sean on Instagram at McGreevy44. And yeah, I don't know.
Why do you spell your name differently?
Why do I spell my name differently?
No, like, why do you, it's like McCreevy Sean 44, not Sean McCreevy 44.
I think I had a lot of old emails the other way,
okay.
and I stopped using them, and I'm like, well, I better switch it up.
Were there 43 other McGreevy Seans?
No, surprisingly, there wasn't. Actually, when I was growing up, I was the only McGreevy in the phone book.
Really?
Wow.
Not even your parents.
But the funny thing was, I found out there was a McGreevy and in White Rock.
Really?
Which is a town just 20 minutes away from Surrey, from where I live. And I got a call, it was about a year ago, saying I owed the government back taxes of about $4,000.
Wow. So the other Sean McGreevy's a deadbeat.
And they said, "Are you Sean McGreevy?" I said, "Yes." And I'm like, well, we're gonna have to start deducting money from your paycheck. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? I pay my taxes. Like, what are you talking about?" And I just raised a snake.
Like, how old were you at this time?
It was actually last year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Holy shit.
And then it said, your address isn't such and such White Rock, BC. And I was like, no, you must have the wrong Sean McGreevy. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, not only is there another McGreevy, but there's another Sean McGreevy out there, and he lives 20 minutes away from me, and he's a deadbeat. He owes the government. He's a fugitive now.
That's your tax dollars at work. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that somewhere your actual phone number is connected to your address, and his phone number is connected to his address, but they couldn't put two and two together.
No.
Well, so go to @McGreevySean44 on Instagram and check
a lot of butt shots.
Check out
request them. If you want a butt shot, I'll give you a butt shot.
Actually, this show
I
does.
got no shame.
Peabody and Sherman does have a lot of butt shots.
It does. They like to wiggle the black lady's butt around a lot.
And then they have like this time where they go. I think Mozart does like a whole piece using his butt rather than his finger.
So there are the jokes for kids there, definitely. Yeah. So there you go. Watch the rest of Peabody and Sherman, and then while you're at it, watch Transformers Rescue Bots and watch My Little Pony and see all Ranjit's artwork, and then have your wife
my work,
and then have your wife come home from work and say, "Why are you watching My Little Pony?" And you're like, "I saw it on Sean and John." All right, should we wrap this up?
Wrap it.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. I'm John.
I'm Sean.
I'm Ranjit.
Goodbye, lover.
Hold on. John just quit.
I quit.
Right now, Mr. Peabody is.
Oh, I
in the
fucked up
time
bad.
travel
I left the remote in the ground and I hit it with my foot, folks. I'm sorry. We're gonna resolve this here.
We'll be right back.
Right now,
That's
Mr. Peabody is in New York City.
This is all.
I'm
probably gonna edit this shit. You guys have no idea how much I want to fucking punch myself in the face right now.
Do it.
No. Oh, damn.